Democrats would like to stop the confirmation of Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh in the worst way, and they're going about it in the worst way. They have produced or talked about the existence of a letter that no civilian has seen from a woman whose identity nobody knows that accuses Kavanaugh of unspecified sexual conduct apparently 35 years ago. We don't know the year. He was in high school at the time. He's denied the allegations to the extent he's even heard them. Democrats passed this letter to the FBI for reasons they've never explained. The FBI said, we're not investigating this. And yet, despite all of that, the transparent attempt to wreck a man's life because he's in the way of their acquisition of power, some Democrats are saying this letter is enough that Kavanaugh ought to withdraw. Chris Hahn is an attorney, a radio host, a former aide to Senator Chuck Schumer, and he joins us tonight. So let's get the facts of this first in line. Why would Senator Feinstein pass this on to the FBI, which is a federal law enforcement agency, which would seem to have no jurisdiction in the state of Maryland 35 years ago? Why the FBI?
Well, the FBI does the background checks of all candidates for judicial offices, and I think they needed to put this into his file. Look, she got this letter a couple of weeks ago. The person who wrote the letter did not want to come forward, probably wanted to avoid the same fate Anita Hill faced when in 1991 during the Clarence Thomas hearings. And Dianne Feinstein decided not to make this an issue during the confirmation hearings. There have been many Democrats pushing on her since then to make this an issue, and she has refused to do that. I think she's behaved responsibly. If the witness doesn't want to come forward, it's hard for them to have this conversation. That said, I believe that all victims or people who claim to be victims of sexual abuse should be heard. And I know that Ronan Farrow has written about this in the New Yorker today. I'm sure he'll be investigating it, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, so you just said that Senator Feinstein did the responsible thing. What about the Democrats who pushed her, Anna Eshoo, for example, from California, and the many Democrats who are coming out today saying he'll resign, withdraw, because of this story about which we know basically nothing? Are they being responsible too? They're being irresponsible, of course, by your definition.
Well, Eshoo from California was the original recipient of the complaint. The constituent of his called the office and made this complaint, and she forwarded it to Dianne Feinstein. So here we are, right, doing the responsible thing.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean? What do you mean? There's nothing responsible about this. You're destroying a man's reputation on the basis of no evidence, leveling charges against him he cannot refute. How would you feel if I said, you know what, Chris, I heard from someone, actually a friend of someone else, whose name I will not tell you, that you will never know, that you did something 35 years ago in high school. I can't tell you the year because I don't know it, but it was a very bad thing, a sexual thing, and I just want to tell your wife and kids about it. What's your response to that?
You know, I'm not a candidate for the I'm not a candidate for the highest judicial post.
It doesn't matter.
In the land.
This is a question of fairness.
So
how would you feel if I did that to you?
He deserves a bit more. He deserves a bit more scrutiny, and I do not think that this has been overdone. I do not believe that this has been. This has not been part of the hearings. It does.
Well, but wait a second. Hold on.
I don't believe it has.
I'm not. Wait, but hold on. I'm not arguing. Just to be totally clear, I'm not arguing that we shouldn't know all we can about his life. I think we should. I'm for transparency. Right. But the Democrats didn't find anything out. They didn't interview this woman. And by the way, if you're going to make a charge against somebody, you have a moral obligation to show your face and make the charge. You can't make an anonymous charge. We shouldn't be complicit in this. Do you want to live in a world, a Star Chamber world, where somebody you don't even know who it is accuses you of a sex crime and you can't respond to it? Like, what is this?
Again, she didn't bring this up during the hearings. She sent the letter on to the FBI, who is responsible for the background checks and vettings of judges. They have decided not to pursue it.
They sent it as a criminal
reporters
referral.
Are looking into it.
What do you mean pursue it? You're not making no offense. You're not making any sense.
They have decided not to pursue it.
What would that mean to pursue it?
The FBI has said very clearly they're not going to pursue it. Well, they're not pursuing it.
But hold on. What
is she supposed to do? Is she
I'll tell you what she's supposed to do.
Under the rug?
I'll tell you what she's supposed to find out if it's true, and if it is, make it public.
Right.
But if she can't determine that it's true, don't impugn a man's reputation with charges of a sex crime. If you don't know that it's true, that's the most reckless thing you can do. Why doesn't she apologize to him? What the hell is going on here?
I don't think that a senator has the resources to investigate something that happened 35 years ago.
Then don't bring it up. The FBI does,
I'm not sure if the FBI does. But, well, look,
Well, then don't bring
we'll
it up.
see what happens.
I mean, what
But
is
again,
this?
Look.
Okay.
She didn't start
You don't see
it.
this as McCarthyism?
It came to her from it came to her from. No, I don't. It came to her from a constituent. I think she behaved responsibly here. This was not part of the hearings. She decided to have the hearings. Senator Feinstein decided to have the hearings be based on the law and his interpretation of the law,
this
and
isn't
not
the law.
on this
This
story, which it could have been.
You know what I would do if I were a senator and there was someone whose politics I hated? If Michael Moore was up for the Supreme Court and I got a letter saying Michael Moore committed a sex crime 35 years ago, you should know about it, I would say, tell me the details, come forward, and if you don't, I'm burning the letter. Because I don't like Michael Moore. I don't agree with him, but I'm not going to wreck his life on the basis of an anonymous accusation. That's totally immoral.
I think this is why Senator Feinstein held on to the letter and did not make it part of the hearing.
So they leaked it just to make sure his kids were ashamed. I don't even know the guy.
Well, we're not even sure that they leaked it. So thank you, Tucker.
Yeah, we are. Well, the left is making its final pitch to Americans before the midterms. You may have heard this before. Vote for